I believe DLF won their earlier match earlier this year, but we shall see.
This is the Throttle Rockets looking for what would be their first ever Rat City League championship.
Will they once a yes? We'll see if DLF will continue their winning ways from last year. As we get rolling, and number 4, Loco, is your lead jammer. DLF out with the first lead jam early.
That is Master Bowder jamming there for the Throttle Rockets with the Jammer Star in her hand.
Meanwhile, Loco through 4 points, calls off the jam. Master Bowder had exited the back, but not able to get any points. So an early lead, 4-0.
That's when we're going to have the drive with the
for DLF.
I see Y-Fly approaching the jammer line.
Wait for the pack to thin out. I know it's not Joe, because Joe is standing carefully so we can see the number on their bag. So that helps. Doesn't help identify the jammer, but I can eliminate one.
4-4 pack, going left, going right.
I believe that is 017 Riptide jamming for Throttle Rockets.
All right.
Not giving a single inch to either jam.
Both teams pushing. Riptide forced down, not too far out of bounds, and no run back, so no need to roll back as well. This Y-Fly also trapped.
Riptide being sent down by 16.
And now the rebounds, or the recycling starts.
Bouncing right back up. No
Y-Fly bumped out.
Y-Fly being contained there by Natty and Samuel Reckett.
And first penalty of the game going to DLF. There's a forearm on 1680 cinder block. And finally, almost a minute in, 017. Riptide for Throttle Rockets is your lead jammer. And then everyone falls down. Convenient.
Y-Fly has the star in hand, but the pivot has taken off to try to handle Riptide up at the front of the pack.
Oh, only 3 on that pass. Riptide getting the no impact, eh?
Natty's going to go have a seat in the penalty box. I didn't see the call, and since we don't have a display now, we're just going to have to take it on faith. It was a good call.
Yes, we'll assume it was a thoroughly valid penalty, I'm sure. So 4-3, DLF with the early lead.
We have Gnarly Quinn jamming against Bad Karma.
Gnarly Quinn up the outside, lead jammer Throttle Rockets. Oh, that was Bad Karma, sorry. Got my names confused.
Pack is fast, pace is intense, and currently they're in the far corner.
Gnarly ducking the outside to grab the points. Forces the call off. And Throttle Rockets only picking up 2.
The Birdhouse in West Seattle has a great menu of breakfast and lunch options.
So DLF stretching out now 8-5. I guess 1 point is stretching out if your lead was 2 before, right? Sure. We'll go with that. I believe that's going to be Ponyboy Hurtis, star for Throttle Rockets. Didn't catch the number on the DLF jammer. Sheer Force jamming for DLF.
DLF blockers with a great second effort, but the Throttle Rockets jammer does manage to get through and earn lead jammer status.
Sheer Force, cap in hand now, but trapped at the front.
Meanwhile, Ponyboy Hurtis was knocked to the inside, forced to recycle. Now fighting a 3-wall of DLF players there at the back. Sheer Force also run back this time by Blaze of Lori.
Blaze of Lori being part of the tripod kickstanded by Glitter Gulch. As Ponyboy Hurtis caught up at the front, as you mentioned. Just everybody, it's leg day for everybody today. And finally, Ponyboy clears. Completes that first run, gets the 4 points. Throttle Rockets now up by 1. Star pass complete. Star pass now for DLF, held by number 42. That would be Velvet Hammer. And they are forced to the infield and rolled back by Anyang. Anyang holding steady at the front. Ponyboy, Blaze Allure trying to do anything on the offense, but DLF defense just rolling back and forth.
Quite impossible to do much right now. Ponyboy Hurtis, however, finding an open lane there on the inside, sneaking through for 4 points. Velvet Hammer with the star in their hand. Still working their way through. Ponyboy Hurtis decides to call that off. 8-0 jam in favor of the Throttle Rockets, bringing the score to 13-8. There's a whole lot of derby left in this game, and I am already exhausted.
Yes. And 3 more coming in late on that last pass. 16-8, 23:45 to go in our first period. Whistle blows, and we are off again. And DLF, 4 Loco, grabbing the lead jammer, just like in jam number 1.
That is made in China, wearing the star for the Throttle Rockets, or rather holding the star at the moment.
Made in China trapped at the front. Loco also caught up at the back. Bantam with the run back. Made in China forced to recycle back to the jammer line.
Made in China looking for a lane on the outside, does not find it.
And Loco tiptoes the line, keeps them in bounds. 4 points up, DLF. And star pass complete, damage control. Number 501 now with the star for Throttle Rockets. Loco through the back, calls off the jam. And that 8 points ties us up at 16.
As a matter of fact, it does.
Seems they brought it today. They're bringing a little competition to the game, which is good to see. And back to it.
That is Y-Fly jamming for DLF.
And Y-Fly is clear. Grabs lead jammer racing past Evil McNevil. Meanwhile, Molotov Cocktail number 79 is out. Y-Fly cuts through, calls off the jam. No points, Throttle Rockets. Conversation being held by referees. And the 4 points go up for DLF. Takes us to 2016. And we're under for, what are we on? Jam number 7 now. That's what it is. Riptide, Gnarly Quinn. And Gnarly Quinn, or Riptide number 17, 017 is your lead jammer, Throttle Rockets.
Gnarly Quinn takes a hard out to the outside from Glitter Gulch. Forced to recycle all the way back, bumped by Glitter Gulch. Once again, run even farther back. Pack is stringing out in the non-derby direction.
Yeah, great hit. Oh, that was a beautiful hit by Anyang. Coming around the pack, total blindside shot. Beautifully executed.
Riptide far off the wall, got around, managed to outrun them. there on the outside. 4 more points for the Throttle Rockets.
Gnarly Quinn is through. Half a lap behind. Riptide accelerates up, calls off the jam. Looking like 3 more coming, so that'll be an 11-point jam. Taking us to 27-20.
Currently in favor of the Throttle Rockets.
This is exciting.
This is very exciting. I believe that is Loco once again jamming for DLF. That is 602 Bad Karma jamming now for the Throttle Rockets. We have a penalty there for a direction of gameplay penalty.
Does Natty pick up the penalty for the Throttle Rockets, and Loco is your lead jammer.
Bad Karma sent out to the penalty box on a cut track penalty for Loco on a power jam. It's exactly what DLF wanted to see right now.
Power jam, Loco cuts beautifully outside, cutting back to the inside and through, adding the 4 points. 8 total on the jam so far for Loco. It's Natty back out of the penalty box and ready for Loco, but fortunately other teammates there to close things down. It's Bad Karma out of the box and back engaged.
Bad Karma tangled up with a 3-wall there at the back of the pack. A little bit of Throttle Rocket offense, and she is through. That was, however, her initial pass.
Loco calls off the jam, and we will have yet another lead change. A hydration break for all.
28-27, DLF in the lead.
Red City thanks Riot Physical Therapy for keeping our teams safe and healthy during today's bout. Riot is rehabilitation the way it was meant to be, authentic, empowering, and fun. Check them out at riot.doctor.
You guys move.
Jam underway, number 3, Master Bouter, not lead jammer, cut tracker. So we will have power jam and no lead jammer.
Because Black Eyed Bruisin removed the jammer cover during the initial pass.
That was one of those where you're like, they're out, they're going to get lead, I'll pull it off. Oh no, they didn't. So we all get a 2-minute jam, and the Throttle Rockets trying to accelerate things, but not able to do so. As Black-Eyed Bruisin
Dealing
the beat at the front, 104 Scarlet Fever holding the line.
With number 76, Ruth Beater Ginsburg.
And finally through with 4 points is Bruisin.
Bad Karma is back out of the penalty box and now dealing with a wall at the front, trying to juke up the inside line, just makes it.
And great toe stop work, keeping the feet inbounds, like leaning into the pack the whole way. Repeated taps, but not out. And now Bad Karma sliding into the pack, chest to chest and pushing through for 4 points.
Karma using power to get through when you don't have space.
Yeah. Always nice when the blocker turns around to meet you as well, because no penalty that way. This time, maybe not so much. A 4-on-3 advantage now for the Throttle Rockets in the pack. And a star pass quickly through just as the jam comes to a close. So 2 points in the hat before it was passed.
Score stands 34-37. DLF still in the lead just by a smidge. A little over 18 minutes left in the first half of this last game before heading to the Rough and Tumble in Ballard for the after party.
I think there's going to be a lot of people needing a drink at the after party after this game. Ponyboy Hurtis. Juking through the pack. Grabbing lead jammer for the Throttle Rockets. Meanwhile, Gnarly Quinn, 72. Anya tries to stop, not able to. Ponyboy cuts through, calls off the jam. Picks up the points. And now we sit 38-37.
This time the Throttle Rockets in the lead.
Yeah, if you're playing drinking games back in the beer garden, one, I feel sorry for you. Two, I'm going to
This is back and forth and very close.
It is a very excellent game. I think a lot of our audience members here in the stadium with us are going to have no voice left.
Yes. How will they order their drinks at the after party? Maybe by
Text message,
yes.
Absolutely.
Use the QR code. All right, back underway.
Yeah, defense. Right
with
there.
everybody piled up in one giant pile.
That is sheer force jamming for DLF.
And everybody falling down as 017 Riptide for Throttle Rockets forced out of bounds, has to roll back, and that rollback going all the way to the jammer line. Sheer force. Pushed out, Glitter goes with the run back. We're just going to play in this corner for a while.
It's better than no one skating at all.
That is very true.
A lot of skating in the wrong direction is better than no one skating at all. Riptide found a hole.
Front Riptide, lead jammer Throttle Rockets.
Just managed to squeeze past more butts there at the front of the pack.
As importantly, it took long enough that Natty got into the box and then back out of the box, all in the same jam. Star pass complete for DLF as 83 Thumper Skull picking up the star. Not able to collect any points. 2 up for the Throttle Rockets.
That puts our score at 42-37. Throttle Rockets still in the lead. I see 4, Loco.
And I believe that's made in China, jamming.
You are correct, that is made in China. Loco threw up the inside.
Loco wants to keep that streak alive. Cut track call on 2025 Nuketown.
Loco calls the jam right before Made in China hits the pack. 4-0 in favor of DLF.
And we're back to DLF being up.
41-40 now in favor of DLF. I feel like we're going to be doing that all night.
Up and down either way. Each team with 1 skater in the penalty box. 3-on-3, that's just more fun. Sure.
That is Molly Top Cocktail, I believe. They're jamming for the Throttle Rockets.
Yes, and Phantom starting at the back of the pack, now rolling, giving way to Kosher Assault. And 192 Y-Fly out first, lead jammer. Y-Fly caught by the invisible jammer, or invisible blocker rather. Meanwhile, Molly Tough Cocktail picking up the cut track penalty off to the box. Power jam Y-Fly. Anyang doing all in their power to keep Y-Fly from getting through the pack.
Y-Fly's being continuously knocked inside, then outside, then inside, then outside, but the DLF defenders are doing an excellent job of not letting the Throttle Rockets run back. So it's out then in, then out then in. 45-40 DLF in the lead. Just over 10.5 minutes left in the game.
I'm going to guess Gnarly Quinn. I think. hard to tell from the angle. Yes, it is in fact gnarly. Nice of them to skate out of the way so we can see the jammer.
Molly Top Cocktail starting this jam with the star in the penalty box.
But now out of the box and pushing through, looking on the outside. DLF great waterfall forward to catch Molly Top Cocktail.
Molly Top Cocktail is your lead jammer. Out of the box and into the frying pan.
Nice little hop. Unfortunately, landing a bit off balance. Slowed down a bit, but through with 4 points.
Landed upright and inbounds and immediately went down, but got credit for that pass anyhow.
Star pass now, DLF handing the star off to number 83, Thumper Skull.
Molly Top Cocktail calling off that jam before Thumper Skull manages to reach the pack. 45-44. Oh no, more points came in. 46-45 now in favor of the Throttle Rockets.
Those late 2 points, always sneaking in on that last pass.
Don't ever read the scoreboard, it's wrong. It keeps being updated. That is Loco, number 4 once again.
Loco always so happy to jam. Just comes out, big smile on the face, like, hey, I'm gonna just get lead jammer again, kick all y'all's ass.
Loco really likes roller derby.
Clearly.
That is
I think that's
Bad Karma.
Yes. Bad Karma pushing, Loco outside and clear. Keeps the streak alive again. Lead jammer for Loco. Bad Karma right on pace, and Loco calls it off.
Loco gave the signal to speed up and run off, and the DLF blockers did just that, moving ahead, allowing Loco to get 1 point on the board to tie the game before calling it off, not allowing Karma to get any points at all.
8:15 or 8:10 rather to go in the first period.
46-46. That is Ponyboy Hurtis coming at us right now in the Throttle Rockets Jammer Cap.
And Ponyboy forced the infield. The directional play penalty called, though that will thin down the DLF back.
Black-eyed Bruisin there jamming for DLF, getting forced to the outside by Blaze of Glory. Blaze of Glory is going to get called on a penalty for that.
That'll even our packs up, but Ponyboy Hurtis sneaks around the inside, grabs the lead jammer. So we're down to 7:20 to go in the period.
Black-eyed Bruisin still fighting her way forward.
Bruisin
Jammer
now
cover in hand.
Ponyboy Hurtis looking back like, oh, is that one of my, is that Blaze of Glory coming back? No, I'm sorry, this is more defense for you. Meanwhile, Anyong with the roll out of bounds and roll back of Black-eyed Bruisin all the way. We're just all going backwards. Bantam's like, I can play this game too. And then Bantam heads to the penalty box. All right, maybe a little too far on that run.
Once you've been called out of play, you do in fact have to at the very least stop where you are, if not
maybe work your way back.
Sprint in the direction of the game of roller derby.
Yes.
You cannot share the track with a game of roller derby in which you are not participating.
That would just be, you know, free skate. Ponyboy trapped at the back, and Anyong again with the force out. Now we have had a star pass for DLF. Star now in the hands of number 42, Velvet Hammer. As they are rolled back. Bantam out of the box just in time to escort Velvet Hammer through the pack. Ponyboy Hurtis.
That was a full 2 minutes.
I would say lengthy.
4 points.
Wow.
For Ponyboy Hurtis, 46-50. Throttle Rockets in the lead. 5.5 minutes and change left in this half.
That's a lot of time for not a lot of return.
This is an incredibly low-scoring game. because it's an incredibly tight defensive game.
Oh, and a late penalty coming up on Velvet Hammer, who will take the star to the penalty box for a back block. So we will have a power start for Throttle Rockets.
DLF making some last-minute line changes with that new information.
Yeah, kind of. You got no jammer. You probably want to shift up the defense a little.
Indeed, and that is Riptide there on the jammer line.
But wait, first official
making
timeout.
The international symbol for we're on a power jam, and I don't know where that came from.
I don't know either. If anyone out there knows where the pumping fist in the air comes, by all means, put it in the chat. Not that we can see the chat or anything, but somebody might see it someday. All right, part of that official timeout to get Ponyboy Hurtis back to the medic's attention. The refs thought might have hit their head a little too hard on the ground.
Riptide looking for a lane, finding it with a juke and a jive. Taken out by Thumper Skull.
Thumper Skull living up to the name with that hit.
As a matter of fact.
Riptide caught up and called for the forearm. Got it kind of wedged behind, and it's hard to tell if you're using that to pull forward or not. Doesn't matter, it worked. And Velvet Hammer is through and lead jammer. We're down under 5 minutes to go in the half. 4-on-3 advantage for DLF. Velvet Hammer. Lane is cleared on the inside.
Damage Control returns to the track. 4-on-4 in the pack. As Riptide returns to the track.
Wow. It was like staying in bounds with some sort of gravity control there. Velvet Hammer again shouldered and keeping the toe stop just in bounds. As Riptide finally clears the pack for the initial. And smash away to the penalty box for the Throttle Rockets. 4 points for DLF, and that will put
54-50 in favor of DLF. 4 minutes left in the half.
54-50.
Oh my.
We got down for a few more jams here in the second.
4 minutes-ish to go in the period.
We got the brass band playing. Then we have the drums of the 50.
That is bad karma.
But wait. Team timeout.
No,
call.
instead it is in fact a team timeout called by DLF.
That's a great time to mention Mi Posto Pizza. Craving something cheesy? Visit Mi Posto for open flame pizza, Italian bites, top-notch wine. With 4 locations in Seattle, there's always one nearby. Open 7 days a week for brunch, lunch, and dinner.
Pizza and a glass of wine sounds really good right now.
Yes, it does. You can get your pizza brunch, followed by a pizza lunch, and then a pizza dinner. Just all pizza all day. Trade up the wines. I don't know what's a good breakfast wine. I'm not a wine guy, so I don't.
Well, for breakfast, you're going to want to do like Prosecco.
Ah,
so you can
okay.
put a little OJ in there,
There you go.
and then it's a breakfast drink.
Damn, all right. Perfect.
Reminder that
I was going to say, I forget what the halftime score was last year, but it was also super tight.
And very low and very close. I think the officials were just having a chat about what they're going to order at the Rough and Tumble at the after party.
Whatever it is, $2 from each drink will go towards Rat City Roller Derby. So you should come out as well.
Buy yourself a mule, buy a ref a mule, call a ref a mule. Season's over.
I think if you buy them the mule, you're allowed to.
Possibly. And Karma is the thunder rattling the ground and also your lead jammer.
Meanwhile, up to the front and bouncing around is Gnarly Quinn, number 72. But Anyong again. Anyong's defense just never ceases to amaze. It's like, I will own this jammer all day long until I have to let him go. Meanwhile, Bad Karma forced out of bounds. Forearm penalty called. Bad Karma taps the hips. Picked up 2, but I think it's 2 each. Yes, so we keep the 4-point gap, 57-53 DLF.
Timeout called. Oh, this is going to be an official review.
Official review with 3 minutes to go in the period. If you would like to sponsor official reviews, Rat City loves their sponsors. Learn more about sponsorship opportunities by emailing, as I turn the page over, sponsorship@ratcityrollerderby.com. Join the Rat Pack for next season.
I actually highly recommend sponsoring the official reviews, as they don't come over and tell us what's happening on the track right now. We could be talking about your business right now.
Just plugging the business.
As opposed to vamping,
Yes.
like we are.
I mean, Murray Grande's out there. We could make this the Murray Grande official review. Maybe Murray called it, so he could come out and talk to the skaters. Probably not.
Probably not.
So DLF maintains that the Throttle Rockets jammer should be assessed for a forearm penalty before the jam was called off, which was going to DLF.
All right, so what I am hearing from Murray Grande's glorious voice right now is that the DLF coach is contending that the Throttle Rocket jammer committed a forearm penalty prior to attempting to call the jam, at which point the jam should not have been called. Instead, the jammer should have been sent to the box to serve that penalty, and the jam should have continued. So if they are successful in this official review, the Throttle Rockets jammer will go to the box. Sadly, the jam is called. We can't rewind time and redo that, but
We'll see.
we will see if a Throttle Rocket jammer goes to the box.
If Maiden China comes off,
We will know they were successful.
I see Maiden China still standing there, so I think that was a big no call stand.
We're going to say the no call does stand. Apparently whatever was done with that forearm did not have an effect on gameplay.
And that is key.
And now, with the score at 57-53 with DLF in the lead, that ruling whistle from Wizard of Laws means that we are just about to get back to roller derby.
I think we've got Wi-Fi jamming against Maiden China. Our 4-point game. 2 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the period.
I have not seen defense this tight since junior championships in about 2013.
Yes. And Maiden China called on the forearm penalty. And Wi-Fi now with the power jam.
Space Racer making sure Jess knows lead is available.
Anyang back out of the penalty box as well. And moving forward to catch Wi-Fi. Pack stretched out as far as it can go. Bridging from Scarlet Fever, but Anyang's being pushed forward, pushed forward, pushed forward. Finally told, you need to get back to that pack. Meanwhile, penalty box emptying out as Punchio
And
gets...
it appears that the Throttle Rocket jammer was assessed lead prior to committing the forearm penalty, and that may have been what that conversation was about, as lead was apparently not available when Wi-Fi made it.
Maiden China through, completes the initial. This is one of those tricky, like you were out and then reabsorbed and then got a penalty, and so you're not really out. This time, though, clear with points.
But what has happened is Maiden China has made it through on a scoring pass. 4 points in the sky for the Throttle Rockets. That has tied up the game.
Meanwhile, Cinderblock dropped to the track at the far side. Waves to the crowd and gets back up. It's nice to give props to your audience.
We do love skaters that appreciate their audience.
We do indeed. Jam comes to a close. Maiden China picking up 2 more, but 4 points up for DLF. So we will let the computers add that up. That's a 1-point game now.
It is 61-60. DLF currently in the lead. seconds left in the period.
35 of them, in fact.
Definitely enough to start another jam.
And Four Loko out and ready.
Four Loko has been a wildly successful jammer for DLF tonight. No one is surprised to see them back on the jammer line.
Throttle Rockets prepped at the back.
This Molotov cocktail there wearing the star for the Throttle Rockets.
Oh, and called for the head block, I believe. Not quite, I think, what Throttle Rockets were looking for.
Meanwhile, DLF fans are on their feet, very excited.
Yes, indeed. And DLF defense ready for some sweeping. Mean to try and open, Loko.
Throttle Rockets, meanwhile, taking off to increase the pack pace.
4 points up for Loko. As Molotov cocktail out of the penalty box and back in.
Loko only had 3 points that pass. There was one no pass, no penalty. Bumped to the outside by Anyang.
Molotov cocktail trapped at the front. Holding the star in the hand. Anyang rolling forward. Maybe for a pass, maybe not. Playing some defense, holding on to Loko.
Penalty box has cleared, but it appears we have a DLF skater heading there in a minute.
Wow. That was a great hit.
That was amazing. Loko did have 4 more points in the bank when that jam was called.
So 68-60 is our end of the first half score.
That is one of the lowest first half scores I've ever seen.
I'm going to.
Again, this has been some of the best, tightest, most effective defense I've seen in a long time. Back, and the game is back on. That is Riptide jamming for Throttle Rockets and Loko with lead jammer status there for DLF. Riptide fighting through the last line of defense there, takes off running, is through now, having completed the initial pass.
You can hear, at least from here, DLF bench screaming to call it off, which Loko did.
Riptide not quite managing.
So an 11-point game now, 71-60 DLF in the lead. Quick look at the penalty whiteboard, which is not on a whiteboard anymore. We've got number 1859 Natty for Throttle Rockets with 4. That's your lead penalty getter. DLF has Bantam with 3. But
Karma is through first. However, the final skater she passed was in fact null. Therefore, Karma did not earn lead jammer status.
So there was a whistle. There was a jam called off, but Bad Karma may have gotten some.
No, DLF's jammer earned lead.
Yes.
And called it off. The plan was to do so before Karma was able to earn any points. However, Karma was able to sneak through with 1.
Gives us a 10-point game.
61-71 with DLF in the lead.
Y-Fly with the star for DLF. And I believe that is Ponyboy Hurtis
That
jamming for
appears
TR.
to be Ponyboy Hurtis. For a while it was just a view of a coach and nothing else. Y-Fly tangled up there at the front with Evil McNevel and Gory LaForge.
Forced out by Punchy O'Guts, and they roll them back. Oh, but Punchy picks up a penalty. That's the problem. Once in a while you get penalized, and then Y-Fly ends up lead jammer.
Ponyboy Hurtis also out of the pack.
Y-Fly looking to the outside. Clipped by Gory LaForge. calls off the jam.
2 points for DLF on that jam. Throttle Rockets once again held to 0.
Make that 3, 74-61.
DLF up in the pack, 4-on-3.
Made in China with the star at the behind the jammer line.
That is Sheer Force with the star for DLF.
Goes left, goes right. You just see a whole lot of
Sheer Force pushing, Made in China running the outside edge, and his lead jammer.
Blaze of Glory coming forward to help out, becoming a last line of defense there, keeping Sheer Force held. Made in China forced outrun all the way back.
And just held at the back of the pack as more butts took a big hit to the infield, but now back in play. And Young has to let go finally. And roll back. Made in China calls off the jam.
3 points for Made in China.
Oh, 2. Oh, no, 3. 2,
I saw
3.
the thumb. It took the scorekeeper longer than it took me, but we all have seen the thumb now. It is 64-74. DLF still in the lead. Loco once again lining up to jam for DLF.
Throttle Rockets jammer playing the I'm going to hide from the stream announcers game.
That is Master Bowder.
Master Bowder. Lead jammer going to Loco. Master Bowder coming up quickly. Loco shouldered out of bounds. Calls off the jam. Beautiful shot by Ann Smashaway.
DLF had 2 points there at the end of the jam, holding the Throttle Rockets once again scoreless.
Yep.
That is Riptide once again lining up to jam for the Throttle Rockets.
And I think Gnarly Quinn with the star for Derby Liberation Front. They are, and everybody just piled up in one little spot. Gnarly Quinn out first, lead jammer, Derby Liberation Front. And then the jam is called.
That was a
Did
very
not
quick
see what
call
happened
off.
there.
I have no idea why.
I don't see anyone injured. I'm not clear what happened
And
there.
I'm like, is there a raccoon on the track? Like,
Could
I
be.
genuinely don't know what happened.
You can replay that jam if you haven't been sent a lead.
We're gonna just redo.
You're going to take a mulligan and go again.
Why the heck not? Y-Fly 192 jamming for DLF. Out first, and lead jammer is number 79, Molly Top Cocktail.
Y-Fly with the cover off has passed it off to number 323, Feline Fatale.
Meanwhile, Molly Top Cocktail forced out of bounds, calls off the jam. Well executed star pass. I like the quick star pass to force the call off. Beautifully done.
I do not see any points up for that jam.
No, I don't either. I'm like, all right, we're going to stay 76-64, and then we'll take an official timeout.
There were points. There were points.
Hey.
A referee said there were, in fact, 2 points. It is now 76-66. I want to let everyone at home know that if they got to hear any of the fun that was going on at halftime, that band is called the Neon Brass Party. They're going to be playing again soon at Honk Fest West. That is a brass band festival. Happens in Seattle, all over town. It's happening May 31st through June the 2nd. Check them out online. You can hear Neon Brass Party and a lot of other cool, fun, interesting brass bands all around town. It's going to be a hoot.
They are super fun. I was unaware I could get adult shoes that lit up. Speaking of lit up, Gnarly Quinn lit up as lead jammer. Bad Karma out of the back as well. Harley Quinn hits the pack, bounces off.
Gnarly Quinn picking up 1 point, but holding the other team 2-0. 77-66, DLF in the lead.
Meanwhile, Bad Karma trying a little apex jump at the end, just ran straight into Slamuel Reggett. Slamuel's like, I'm on your team. Why are you taking me out?
That is Master Bowder jamming in white.
I believe that is number 25, Black Eyed Bruisin', right?
Indeed it is.
For DLF, yes indeed.
Master Bowder
through the back, but not lead.
Not lead.
We'll erase that little mark. But getting points. Master Bowder trapped at the back, pushing through. Oh, takedown complete. Evil McNevel with the shoulder.
Second effort, third effort, and beyond there for DLF, having chased Master Bowder from the back of the pack all the way up front. Keeping to that 3-wall. Remember, Master Bowder is not lead.
No, lead still open, a whopping minute into the jam. We continue to tick. As everybody pushing. Throttle Rockets getting a little relief as Scarlet Fever out of the penalty box and skating forward to join the pack.
Also, we have a DLF blocker headed to the penalty box. It is now a 2-wall there at the front, fighting off Master Bowder. She is through, 4 points for the Throttle Rockets. Her coach reminding her she is not lead.
27 seconds left in the jam. Still no lead jammer. As Black Eyed Bruisin' bumped out again, rolls back. Master Bowder, another DLF blocker heading to the penalty box, and 4 more.
Master Bowder through again.
Bowder's like, there's 4 seconds left. I'm not going to expend any more energy than I have to.
And the coach gave the signal too, like, take it easy, take your time.
Rest
the other jammer never made it through an initial pass.
That was an impressive.
8-0 jam in favor of the Throttle Rockets, making this a 3-point game. A 3-point game. That's a really small number.
Solid Throttle Rocket defense, holding that jammer unthrough for the whole thing.
And I think no one is surprised that DLF has sent Loco onto the track to try and answer those points. Meanwhile, Ponyboy Hurtis is jamming for the Throttle Rockets.
And everybody's sort of moving farther away from us now. Loco steps up and leveled by Anyang, but cut the track prior. So Power Jam
Loco did cut the track and stopped playing roller derby long enough to have that conversation with the referee.
Yes.
Anyang was not going to let them by though.
No.
Meanwhile, Ponyboy Hurtis has gotten past and has earned lead jammer status. Remember, this is currently a 3-point game.
That's just rude, though. You cut the track and then you get leveled. Speaking of level, Ponyboy Hurtis also dropped to the track.
Throttle Rocket defense doing an excellent job of not letting those DLF defenders run backwards.
Loco back out of the penalty box. Ponyboy pushing at the front, and Loco is through. Completes the initial. And Ponyboy Hurtis calls off the jam.
With 3 more points. 3 more points.
Hey, we must be tied then.
19 minutes remain in regulation.
We promised excitement, friends and fans, and the Throttle Rockets and DLF are delivering. 77-77. That is not a Vegas jackpot. That is, in fact, the score of this game.
Oh boy.
That is Riptide once again jamming for Throttle Rockets against Gnarly Quinn. Gnarly Quinn has earned lead jammer status for DLF. Riptide not far behind, racing to catch up, and the pack is racing themselves.
Pack's like, let's just play USAR's rules now. Nobody stops. Points either side.
2-1. Throttle Rockets take the lead. There is much rejoicing in the Throttle Rocket cheering section, which is right off my right ear. They're having a very good time.
I think everybody's having a good time. Hopefully you're having a good time watching at home.
I see Made in China, and that is Y-Fly.
Y-Fly caught up on the inside, getting a little offensive assistance. Forced out, Made in China out. First lead jammer, Throttle Rockets. Y-Fly now star in hand.
DLF doing their best to break up that three wall. Meanwhile, trying to keep the pivot out front so that you could take a star pass. Did not happen.
Made in China sees Y-Fly coming back, taps the hips, calls off the jam.
Made in China had 2 points in the bank when that jam was called, taking the score to 81-78.
It's going to be so fun at the after.
Bad Karma heading out to jam against Gnarly Quinn.
Yeah,
Gnarly Quinn getting a one jam break, which is tiring me out. I'm just sitting here.
Gnarly Quinn's particular style of charging forward as a jammer has been very effective tonight. However, this time,
and star
Karma passed the jammer status.
Bad Karma has been called on the back block. I think wasn't sure because someone else was going at the same time, and finally picks it up. Power jam for DLF.
That is Feline Fatale currently with the star.
Feline Fatale playing the, I just have to get my hips in front of you, right? So I'll turn around and it'll work. Gets past Machio Guts, picks up the 4 points.
Went down but not out, not forced to run back, able to stand up right on the track where she went down. Oh, little old school single file power jam offense happening on the DLF side.
Throttle Rockets continuing the pressure forward. And Feline Fatale taken to the track hard. Slow to get up, but is back up.
Karma sneaking around the outside. 4 more points for the Throttle Rockets.
Oh, and a back block, I believe, was called on Feline Fatale.
Karma not entirely sure. She landed both upright and in bounds, therefore going to go ahead and run back. Better 10 seconds in the infield than 30 seconds in the penalty box. Karma's decision is rewarded with 4 more points in the sky for the Throttle Rockets.
And another 4 right at the whistle. Ooh, man. A 12-point jam. And the crowd goes wild.
I'm holding the mic in the air so that the crowd at home could hear that.
By my poorly scribbled notes, that's the biggest jam for Throttle Rockets. They've had a couple of 11s, but they had not gotten a 12 yet.
That was a 12.
Takes us to 93-85.
Now nobody let them look at the score.
Yes. And a power start as well, I believe. But first,
that is what it looks like. We're at a team timeout right now.
DLF regrouping and, shaking it to C89.5 once I turn the page to the right page. When they're not on the track, Rat City Skaters, or when they're in a timeout, like to do a different kind of jamming. Jamming out to the tunes. C89.5, Seattle's home for dance music. tune them in wherever you are, because I'm sure they're online as well.
In fact, you can listen to them any place around the world, online, or through your favorite app.
And the Throttle Rockets chants coming up from the crowd. Looks like 4-on-4 in the pack.
Riptide with a wide grin. Riptide is very excited right now for this power start.
85. We're halfway through the second period.
3 DLF skate back. A couple of Throttle Rockets come forward back as well to break things up.
Riptide bump to the inside.
Feline Fatale out of the penalty box. And back engaged now as Riptide trying to get through. Anyang taking people out left and right. And Riptide.
Riptide is your lead jammer.
How did Riptide stay in bounds? I don't understand the physics of what just happened over
I
there.
believe it was sorcery. There are no rules against witchcraft.
Feline Fatale has passed off the star to 83 Thumper Skull. Thumper is through. Riptide being told to call off by the bench and finally sees the bright yellow. I like the big pieces of paper over here. That's nice.
You do what you got to do to communicate with the skater on the far side of the track in a room this loud.
Oh, yes.
DLF did manage to pick up 2 points just then.
We'll see what comes in.
Scoreboard's currently showing 93-87, but I do feel like Throttle Rockets should have also had some points.
And they will get another official timeout for a second, probably to clarify that. We shall see. Maybe it's just the Wizard of Oz likes to show off his arms.
Our white jam referee was in fact in conference with the scorekeeper. The score is updated now, 97-87. Throttle Rockets still in the lead.
10-point Throttle Rocket lead. Loco with the star for Derby Liberation Front.
Oh, they're playing London Bridge.
Oh, that's nice.
Karma and Loco both stuck at the back of the pack.
And Karma on the outside. Lead jammer, Throttle Rockets.
Karma had a little sneak around the outside. Pack has taken off at a speed I haven't seen since 2012. Karma is speeding through. Picked up 2 points.
That is the fun part of that new rule. Like, the pack in front is the pack, so you got to chase if they're running away, and you get to get a good speedy jam where you only get a couple of points.
And right when they stopped forcing 27 and 5.
Yes. I mean, you only need it if you need it. 99.
We are not going to skate for 5 solid minutes ever,
Right.
but that was a lot. And this is Molotov Cocktail, and this is sheer force.
Molotov Cocktail held up. Sheer force. Trapped inside Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Giving a little shove to Gory LaForge to slow things down.
Sheer force meeting up with Evil McNevo there at the front.
Out and rolling back into the
McNevo
back.
getting a little help from the teammates up there.
As Evil McNevel, Mac at the front, teaming up with Punchy O'Guts. As 2025 Nuketown moving forward to knock people out of the way. Back block called and a direction play. There were like 5 different penalties being signaled over there. I'm not sure what exactly just
It
happened.
all happened over there.
Ruth Bader
Here's one of them. We had a Throttle Rocket blocker going to the box.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg heading as sheer force forced out and rolls back.
running again, once again into the force of nature that is Evil McNevel. Meanwhile, Molotov Cocktail also run back.
42 seconds left in the jam, still no lead jammer.
Still no one has completed an initial pass.
Oh. Hut track on Molotov Cocktail. And a star pass completes. So Thumper Skull number 83 now jamming for DLF. With about 14 seconds remaining, Thumper forced out of bounds. They are rolled back. Ruth Bader Ginsburg thought maybe gotten back enough, but not quite. Thumper Skull just shouldering her own player out of bounds. Why not?
Thumper Skull did manage to pull in all 4 points. Score is now 99-91. Little less than 10 minutes left in the game. Gnarly
And a
Quinn
power start.
with a power
Gnarly
start.
Now it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for DLF. Gnarly Quinn knocked out of bounds, rolled back by Natty. And
Molotov Cocktail is out of the box trying to race away around the outside.
low block called on Anyang. And outland lead jammer, Gnarly Quinn.
Throttle Rockets on parade, headed to the penalty box.
They got nobody on the track right now. Now getting some relief for the Throttle Rockets. It's Damage Control and Evil McNevel back in play, and I like the move.
Molotov Cocktail gonna.
It's like, I'm not getting anywhere. Might as well play defense. Gnarly Quinn tying it up now, 99-99. We got 8.5 minutes to go in the game. Let's add 4 more and send more blockers to the box. What the heck?
Molotov Cocktail gone to the box again. That is twice in one jam.
And then Anyang comes in, gets a back block, heads back to the penalty box.
Natty is now back on the track there to help Evil McNevel out. Meanwhile, Gnarly Quinn with 4 more points. There has been a lead change.
And continuing to lap, this time forced out of bounds, but Gnarly Quinn through again. Damage Control out of the penalty box. Throttle Rockets back, not quite to full strength. Now coming back to full with Anyang returning. And Anyang says, I will just take that star, thank you.
That was a brilliant move, but it came just a little too late. That jam was called for time. That was a 23-point jam.
And now DLF on 114-99. Penalties are bad. I think that's what we're learning here.
Penalties are going to be, I think, what decides this game. We are clearly looking at 2 teams that are very evenly matched.
Yes.
The number of lead changes we've had tonight is extraordinary.
But when you send your entire line to the box more than once in a jam, that's not good.
That does poorly for your ability to stay in the lead.
Makes it harder, yes. Want to thank again Seattle Cider, Georgetown Brewing, and Locust Cider. They donated drinks for the beer garden. You're not, I'm assuming you're not watching the stream in the beer garden. That would be weird. But if you are, I mean, have a drink. If you're not, by all means, go out and pick up some Seattle Cider, some Georgetown Brewing beers.
In the Grand Derby tradition of finishing your drink when there's a lead change.
Yes.
The beer garden should have made some excellent money to go to Rat City Roller Derby tonight.
I would hope.
And some excellent money for Uber, Lyft, or the ride share of these people's choice, because anyone who's genuinely playing along over there had best have a designated driver.
Yes. All right, official timeout now. As the officials are discussing official things. Like, what song are they going to play at the after party?
In our 20th anniversary season 18 championship.
I'm assuming that there's a jukebox or something. Or it might be a live band. I honestly don't know.
If there's not a Touch Tunes, what will we do with our lives?
It will be the ultimate post-bout bash at Club Hectic, formerly the Vessel. That's two different reads for the same after party. I'm going to go with the first one. Celebrate Champs After Party, Rough and Tumble in Ballard. For every Morgan's Mule sold, $1 will be donated back to the league. Do not miss out as we toast the finale of the season. Food will be served all night, limited menu starting at 10 p.m. So head down to the Rough and Tumble in Ballard for the after party. 7:15 to go in the game, so add that to your time to show up at the after party.
I tell my nephews about that.
We've got a little more than 7 minutes left in this game. We have got a 15-point lead. We have got Riptide. We've got Loco.
And we've got a bunch of blockers actually on the track for once, so that's nice. Anyang lowers the shoulder, takes a little bit extra bounce out. And Riptide stays in bounds, lead jammer, Throttle Rockets.
Anyang racing to run Loco back. Riptide here at the front of the pack with a four-wall of DLF blockers.
6.5 minutes left in the game. And about 1:10 in the jam as Loco trapped by a solid four-wall defense at the front.
Blaze of Glory coming forward to play a little offense.
And forcing out a blocker and running him back. And there's your 4 points for Riptide.
Anyang getting a hold of Loco.
Riptide calls off the jam before hitting the pack.
Throttle Rockets coach signaling they would like an official review.
We will see if they're actively, there's going to be discussion, so it's not just a timeout official review. That's good. That is lovely. If you were here, you could go to the bake sale. I could read the bake sale read, but I'm not going to.
Or bid in the silent auction.
Oh, yes.
There's a little banana-shaped pet bed over there that is darling.
It was very, very adorable. There were also a bunch of books by Rat City sponsor Lauren Dane.
Indeed.
If you were looking for some steamy romance novels, perhaps you should pick up some novels by Lauren Dane. We want to think of a huge...
is a NYT and USA Today best-selling author.
Yes. LaurenDane.com.
She writes steamy contemporary romance.
Are there werewolves in it?
No, that's why it's contemporary romance.
What if there were modern day werewolves? That still wouldn't fit?
You would still call that paranormal romance or monster romance or shifter romance. I know way too much from book talk.
There's a lot of genres that I am not currently reading. All right, so Ponyboy Hurtis is out, ready to jam whenever this official review is done.
I don't think any of these skaters is angry this is taking this long.
No,
they're getting a moment to breathe.
Especially after this many 2-minute jams. There have been a lot. A lot. I think Gnarly Quinn is jamming.
Full of screaming fans. Everyone in here seems to have picked a side.
Danny Anderson picked a side.
The inside.
Oh, yes.
Danny has picked the inside. Also, I really appreciated watching Danny take the track there. A seasoned photographer, sees the referee rolling, knows how to dodge. That's how you can tell an experienced photographer from an inexperienced photographer.
Always watching.
Danny juked the ref.
Always important to juke the ref.
All right.
Black-eyed bruising. Number 25 with the star.
Riptide knocked out by Bantam. They're going to run her all the way back.
Bantam has been crushing souls since they were 12. It's really... And again, with another soul-crushing rollback. This black-eyed bruising. Trap, Ponyboy Harness, sneaking up the inside. Lead jammer, Throttle Rockets.
That was some ballerina level toe work.
Very good. 11-point game, 103-114. Bruising is through. Completes the initial. And Ponyboy will call off the jam. Get jam ref consultation. No points for DLF. That'll be a 114. We will see.
Our JAMA referee is going to consult with the outside pack referee and make sure she's got the correct total of points.
Kind of important.
The Throttle Rockets coach is pretty sure it's one.
At least one. We will again take a shortened official timeout as the jam ref is now over talking to the scoreboard. And two.
It is two. It is two. And that is why it is so important to let the officials have these conversations. An outside pack ref was sure that second set of hips got passed, but a game is this close.
4:45 to go in the game.
It is a 9-point game.
9-point game, and I'm pretty certain everybody on the track that can be.
Can count to 9.
And Gnarly Quinn is through, lead jammer DLF. Bad Karma forced out of bounds and now forced to the, no, that's Punchy O'Guts going to the penalty box. My bad.
Gnarly Quinn bumped out. Bad Karma is through now. That last blocker had gone null. Gnarly Quinn through with 4, calls off the jam.
And that'll bump us up 118-105. And tick the time down to 4 minutes even.
Coming down to the wire in this championship game.
Made in China and Loco.
Both teams down 1 block.
Everybody's smiling.
Back starting the right after jammer line.
I'm certainly smiling.
I'm tense.
I smile when I'm tense. Oh my goodness! Loco dancing the tightrope and a star pass to Anyong. This jam's got it all. Loco again, hopping, spinning, tapping. Calls off the jam, no points. Throttle Rockets 4 points, DLF.
Loco bouncing down the track as though it's made of a trampoline.
So now we sit 122-105.
With less than 3 minutes left in the game. DLF being chanted from the crowd across from us.
And
Y-Fly out with lead jammer status. Riptide right behind.
Riptide giving chase, trying to catch up. Everybody else racing.
Y-Fly remembering the clock is on their team. Throttle Rocket's going to call a timeout.
Good choice with 2:30 to go, roughly. 122-105. If they can get DLF to just put everyone in the penalty box, that's worked before.
Stranger things have happened this game.
So we mentioned earlier, if you wanted to sponsor, you can sponsor the official timeout. Hey, if you want to sponsor anything, Rat City loves their sponsors. Learn more about sponsorship opportunities by emailing sponsorship@ratcityrollerderby.com. Join the Rat Pack for next season. And if you're thinking, no, I actually just want to skate, well, that is possible as well, because we are always recruiting skaters. Join Rat City if you want to live out your roller derby dream. We have programs for brand new skaters and experienced derby athletes. Email us at newskaters@ratcityrollerderby.com to learn more.
My hands are shaking.
And now we've got 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the game. Derby Liberation Front leading 122-105 over the Throttle Rockets. Penalty box empty for now, which means 5 people will go in about 2 seconds.
Especially because you mentioned it.
Bad karma jamming for Throttle Rockets.
I believe that is Gnarly Quinn.
Yep, I think so.
Bad karma is your lead jammer.
Star pass now complete, 83 thumper skull with the star for Derby Liberation Front. Dancing again on the run back of 602 Bad Karma.
This time Bad Karma with a little Red Rover action. Hits the seam, manages to get past, but they got together to reform.
Thumper pushing at the front, and this prolonged jam not really in Throttle Rockets' favor, as they need points and time. And they're getting some points, but they're eating up the time.
In fact, Natty has come back to play a little offense. Had to skate forward to keep the pack intact.
Thumper skull pushing at the front with Anyang. The pack slowly coming back together. Now under a minute to go in the game. Oh, and Bad Karma getting clocked in the chest. No penalty called because it was a clean hit to the sternum. And Bad Karma rolling way back behind the pack. As we've got now 25 seconds to go. Jam is called. Timeout called by Throttle Rockets.
Karma did score all 4 points. Score is now 109 to 122. Throttle Rockets called a timeout to force one more jam.
1 second remaining regulation.
Oh my, 21 seconds to go. DLF up 13. If all this has inspired you to maybe buy a t-shirt, you're like, I would really like some Rat City merchandise, head over to RatCityRollerDerby.com, click on the buy merch link, and you can peruse the entire catalog and outfit yourself fully up. Whether it's DLF shirts, Throttle Rockets shirts, league wear.
Some of the cool Rat City Roller Derby 20th anniversary merch with the Rat logo. It's got Sirius's number on it. It's very, very cool.
That is very cool.
That rolling whistle was the end of this timeout, which should be the final timeout of the game, but I'm not going to call it that because each team does still have one more timeout, and stranger things have happened.
They have.
Than a jam going less than 25 seconds.
Yes, and now the entire Throttle Rockets team is standing between us and the track, so this will be a fun one.
So
we'll see what happens.
Whatever is happening, it is happening behind the Throttle Rockets. We'll know who it's good for, though.
I think that much I can see on the scoreboard. So
there we
that
go.
Makes sense.
Audience at home can see what's happening.
And the pack is just sort of glommed up in front of everybody. Loco pushing time is now gone on the period clock, so we are on jam time alone, 13-point differential. DLF leading, and
Riptide is through with lead jammer.
So we need 4 passes for the Throttle Rockets to pass. A minute 14 to go in the game, and the jam rather. Riptide pushing, spins to the inside, comes back, knocked to the ground. Back up and pushing, and finally through with 4. That takes us 122-113. 49 seconds left in the game. DLF has passed the star off to the pivot. That's 323 Feline Fatale.
Riptide working with the offense there at the front.
Riptide pushing crowd louder and louder, and penalty called. Someone's going somewhere for a multiplayer block.
Loco going to go have a seat for a multiplayer block.
17 clock is ticking down on the jam. I'm expecting the DLF fans to start counting down any second now.
Riptide is through with 4 more points.
4 more up, 5, 2, 1, and that is the game. The comeback close, but not close enough.
That was indeed very close.